watching Toasted and we just blazed the sack.
I like coffee.
Louis Del Mar, welcome to Amsterdam, the city where every girl is a superstar.
And they all ride bikes.
It's incredible.
Is this your first time here, actually?
No.
Did you play? You didn't play here before?
I first came for the Beautiful Women Riding Bikes convention last year in 2015.
Yeah, that was a good one.
It's really would I describe it as awe-inspiring? Yes.
Amsterdam? Or the amount of beautiful girls on bikes?
I was actually talking about the convention from last year, but
Oh, yeah. The convention inspired the album.
oh wow.
That's what I'm going for.
Waves.
Waves. We produced it. Where did you record it? In our bedroom. At home. Positive.
Because when I was listening to it, I found it all the way down on the list of Spotify, and it said demo! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. So I was like, well, that can't be all that good. Listening to it, I was like, actually, it is.
Demo taped remix?
Oh, it's the demo taped remix. Yeah.
Ah, yeah, that was another cool thing. But that one, yeah, that was by a producer named Demo Taped.
Yeah.
Because I was listening to it and I thought, well, if this is a demo, that comes pretty damn close to the quality you have on the album.
Right. It's actually by a producer named Demo Taped. Yeah. He's a good friend. He's the man, actually.
So how did you guys start off? Because you are all-time friends, right? I mean, you knew each other since youth, and then you decided to start a band and write songs together?
Yes, that's exactly how it happened.
When did you start then?
We started when we were 12, 13, yeah, writing music together, and
So 3 years ago.
yeah, 3 years ago. Yeah, actually, that's exactly what it was. We're 16 now.
We're 16 now.
And
I'm hoping to lose my virginity on this trip.
to a beautiful girl on a bike.
To a beautiful girl on a bike, yes, indeed.
Hoping to lose your virginity while riding on a bike. It's possible. Anything's. That's probably you can probably pay somebody to do that to you in Amsterdam.
God, we're getting off track already. Hey, get back to the music because we don't have a lot of time. Loudy, I love Loudy. Who did the? I'm not filming that shit, man. That's another channel.
That's another channel.
Hey, listen up, Loudy, I love it. Who did the lyrics? Because I think they're amazing.
Thank you very much.
I mean, to start off a song with "Can you please sit the fuck down" is the thinking. It's fucking brilliant.
Yeah. Thank you. That's brilliant. Oh well.
I think you're brilliant.
My mom thinks so too.
I bet she does.
She does. I talked to her yesterday actually.
Oh, yeah, me too.
I wrote a really long post about, I guess, acceptance in the face of Trump becoming the president of the United States, and my mom said she was very proud.
It was actually a very good piece, and I wrote it as well. It was, it was from the heart, and I can imagine that you said, because there are a couple of things that stuck about the piece that you wrote, is that you guys toured through the Midwest when the whole thing was going down, which was sort of harrowing, right? I mean, can imagine. What did you encounter?
It's just very different. I mean, I don't think that. I think that you encounter people that what we sort of said was that when Obama came to the presidency, there was people that were so impassioned after 8 years of Bush leading our country that they wanted change. That was the platform that Obama ran on, and essentially, Trump did the exact same thing for an entirely different population of our country.
Yeah.
And it was one step further, which is that a lot of the political sort of equity that's to be had in the United States really feels like it doesn't belong to the people at all. And I think that there are large segments of our population that are completely underserved by our government, that have been underserved by every government, Republican or Democratic, and I think that that's where a lot of this disdain stemmed from. They were so disdainful of the political hierarchy that they elected someone with zero political. Our country, elected somebody with zero political experience. So we're gonna hold hands and ride it out together.
But anyway, there's another thing that struck me is during the whole when Obama got elected. Did you see that South Park episode where everybody panics because he got elected and they think, oh, now the world is going down and America is going to disappear. The same thing happens right now when Trump is elected, but on the other side of the epicenter.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we talked about it. It's like there's still a huge potential for disaster. Like, gonna be honest, but it's also, I think it's also easy to overreact.
Well, I also just think it just is a testament to the fact that we're all the same, and we're all sort of afraid of one another and whatever is different. And I think that we're gonna see what happens. I think it's
certainly
it has plenty of warning signs of being a very tough time for our country, and I think what's more scary is that when you're a country with as many global ties as the United States, it's not just our country. When you're dealing with making large-scale regulations for a problem like climate change, that's very much a global issue. So I just hope, in some ways, it's almost worse when you consider that because the rest of the world, didn't vote for anybody.
Didn't have to say, yeah, for sure.
So
I think though there is also a point of it where it's like, as a citizen of the United States, it's an interesting wake-up call to realize that there are that many people that are essentially feel that disenfranchised and are also like that uneducated, and it's almost just like, I think we as a country, for the people who voted for Trump, I feel a certain sense of somewhere along the line we failed you. Like those people wouldn't have voted for him if they weren't being underserved by the country, and that's sort of like, it's one of those things where it's like we're all in this country together, and somewhere along the way, like we left you guys behind, and now we're kind of having to deal with that.
I fully agree. I think there is a political class right now that doesn't have a clue what's going on with a lot of people who are living and they're supposed to serve, and they're definitely having this dynasty of power going on and think that they're untouchable and forget to serve the people, and then this is what you get.
Yeah. And just to briefly, not to dwell on this for too long, but to tie it back into the touring thing, I think that's also what was good for us. It's just touring around the country, seeing the middle of the country and realizing that it's just like, I think it's so easy to forget how many different experiences happen in the United States. I mean, I know that's true in other countries too, but I think it's almost hard, if not impossible, for especially the rest of the world, and even for people like us who live just on the coast, to understand like how different parts of that country are and how different those people's lives are. And I just think it's good to see, just to understand where these other people are coming from.
The interesting thing is I have friends in South Carolina as well, and they were actually relieved that Trump got in. And then I have friends from LA and New York who are completely panicking that he is in office.
Yeah, and to be clear, like just to clarify what Max said, like it's not just one type of person that voted for Trump, and it's not just people that have been neglected by our country. It's very well-to-do people as well. And so I think that just the general division that it showcased, because I mean every state, relatively speaking, was within a very close margin. I think what it really is eye-opening about it is just the overall level of division that exists, and we'll see what happens.
On the other hand, I also think if you see what he took on by himself, basically, because he was a one-party guy, and he took over the GOP, which he wasn't really popular when he did that with them.
I mean, to be clear,
I
think
so many enemies.
To be clear, I think most of my friends and I had a very real thought several months ago that Trump was very much a possibility. There was a lot of stuff happening in the media that was contrary to that, and I think that you don't really want to believe that. But there was something that almost seemed predestined about it. That it was like for Trump to have just gotten really close and have failed, and to have been washed away in sort of like the annals of our political history, wouldn't have incited the electricity necessary to really, make a difference in our country.
Back to the music. You guys are playing in the Paradiso small room here in Amsterdam. You're looking forward to playing?
Absolutely. This is our first time in Amsterdam.
First show.
Actually, yeah, first show in Amsterdam. So very excited to share the music with people.
A lot of cool stuff about you guys on social media. A lot of praise. A lot of people calling you the next big thing.
Ah, that's very sweet of them.
That's very sweet of
What do you think of it? Because I mean, of course they have a point, right?
I don't think we think of it. I think that we just try to make music that's meaningful to us and to treat the people that enjoy it well.
Yeah.
Hey, one song I loved, Puerto Cabezas. I don't know if my pronunciation is correct. It's in Nicaragua. Why write a song about it? Why not write a song about it? But you've been there probably, right?
Yes, the town where my parents met, actually.
No way.
Yes. In 1975, and my mom came over from the States to work in one of the Caribbean region's first malnutrition clinics, and my dad is from there. Well, my dad's from a smaller town a little bit south of there.
It is. I looked a little into it. It is a very rural part of Nicaragua.
Oh yes, absolutely. It's actually in a part that's it's like protected indigenous land.
And of course, you can surf there. I've been there many times. In Nicaragua, you can do some fantastic surfing.
Yes, but not in Puerto Cabezas. Yeah.
Two bands that actually came into my mind, and normally I don't compare music because I think it's ridiculous because everybody's influenced by anything else. But to give some direction to the people who haven't heard the music, first band that came up to my head was Ween. Do you guys know them at all?
Ween.
Oh, I have never gotten that.
I can't wait to tell my friends that.
Why?
Because my friends love Ween.
Exactly. I think they're fantastic. I mean, you don't think it's a compliment?
Oh, I listen to them, but not enough to really tell.
And the other one is Maroon 5.
Whoa!
Isn't that amazing?
Hey man, Songs About Jane was a great record.
It was.
I don't care who you are. You don't like that record, you can go. Well, I'm not sure what you're allowed to say on Dutch radio.
Hello. I mean, if as your president,
You can go. Yeah.
you know, I mean, if your president says grab him by the pussy, you can say fuck you on our channel. It's no problem.
I'm glad to hear that.
Who does the artwork basically for? Is there one guy or one girl who does all the artwork for you guys?
No, we do it together.
No, we do it. It's all just Danny and me. A lot of the photos were either taken by Danny or me, and like just different travels when we were in Nicaragua, Panama, and then while we were touring.
So how do you guys write together? I mean, is it easy for you guys to write together? I mean, it probably is because you're good friends, but I mean, it must be, well, hard, I think, to share a creative process.
Yeah, I mean, it sort of has like the division has sort of solidified itself as we've worked more and more. But I sort of bring an initial idea and a songwriting idea to the table, and Max really brings it to life with the production and sort of like feeding in new ideas that play into the theme of the lyrics and the song, and that's sort of how we work. It changes all the time, and there's different ways that we do it, but I think that sort of makes it very much coexist in both of our worlds.
This album's just out, and you guys are already talking about a new one?
I think always moving forward.
Yeah.
Always creating.
Yeah, always creating. Because right now we're touring the album, which is its own art that we're learning and developing for sure, but it doesn't really satisfy the just innate desire to create. So, got to make new shit all the time.
The innate desire
To create.
That's a beautiful quote there. Thanks so much, guys.
You're welcome.